Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 15 of Lockdown Theater Entertainment for the Homebound. I cannot believe we're at the milestone 15th episode. It's just tremendous. So thank you, everybody, for the reaction and the support that you've given this series. It's just mind-blowing. I'll say it again. If you like this episode, if you like any of the episodes, thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But let me ask you, are you in the mood for something weird? Something a little strange? Something a little left of center? Well, then I have the movie for you. And I'm talking about, of course, 2001's Mulholland Drive from director David Lynch, one of my favorite movies. This one's fun. And it's got David Lynch's kind of signature all over it. His sense of mystery, his sense of weirdness and slight uncleanliness that you can't quite put your finger on. It's really makes for a very interesting and odd cinematic experience, like many of his movies do. They deal with this sort of twisted sense of reality, and that is certainly evident here in Mulholland Drive. It's sort of Lynch's version, I would say, of a Hollywood film noir, in a very Lynchian sense, which means it's not your typical film noir. Like I said, Mulholland Drive was released in 2001, and one of the great things about this movie is the casting of the two leads, Naomi Watts and Laura Elena Herring. And, the way that the two of them juxtapose each other and are sort of the opposite sides of the same kind of a coin. Herring is very, she's dark hair, she's very mysterious, very, got that sort of very vixen look, with the red lipstick, and it's very sort of the damaged woman, contrasted with Naomi Watts, who's blonde hair, blue eyes, fresh-faced, bubbly, innocent, naive, all of those sort of traits that are usually associated with the fresh-faced, bubbly ingenue. And it's really wonderful, the casting of those two women, both of whom are extraordinary actresses, particularly in Mulholland Drive, where these cannot be easy characters to inhabit, considering that the movie isn't an easy movie to watch. But let's talk about Naomi Watts for a second. This was, I think, her first the movie that really put her on the map, and she is just extraordinary. As I was watching it or rewatching it, because that's what this series is about, I gained new appreciation for how talented and brave an actress she is. I mean, you'll notice it. For the first part of this movie, she's very, I don't want to give it away, but for a large part of the movie, she's very, like I said, fresh-faced, naive, kind of, got a rosy outlook on everything. Everything's going to be okay. And then there comes a moment in the movie where it just shifts and she becomes a different person. And you'll notice it in the way she talks, in the way her eyes look at the camera and at other characters, the way she kind of stoops her shoulder a little bit. It's such a marked transformation, and it speaks to her strength and her skill as an actress, that it really is a tour de force, I suppose you would say. I mean, she's really just something extraordinary to watch. And if you do see Mulholland Drive, pay attention to how nuanced Naomi Watts is, and how she really inhabits and lives this character and all the different facets that come with the character. It's really extraordinary. The choices she makes, and it's just very layered and and she's remarkable. Particularly, I'm looking at my notes here. Remind me. Particularly, there's a moment where her character is an actress, and she has an audition with a character played by Chad Everett, and her transformation just in this one scene is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. You're just like, it's a different person. It's a different person entirely. And then when the audition's over, turns it off and she's right back to the other character. It's just extraordinary, extraordinary performance. She's wonderful. You know, she really is a phenomenal actress. Laura Elena Herring, you know, I got to wonder why she wasn't bigger, why she didn't kind of, you know, blow up. And granted, it's not as, you know, it's really, Naomi Watts really is the tour de force role in this movie, but Herring is just so magnetic, and you just really can't take your eyes off her. I mean, a lot of it is just that she's so drop dead, classically beautiful. I mean, it's just incredible. And you know, she would have been she could still, I guess, would be a great Bond girl, you know, but we all know how most of the times when actresses are Bond girls doesn't really go so well for the rest of their career, so I don't want to, you know, put the jinx on her career, but she really would be great in a role like a Bond girl, like the mysterious woman character. But she's phenomenal, and I really would love to see her in more stuff. So one of the things about Mulholland Drive that I love so much is that, you know, for a large part of it, you think it's going in one direction, and then there comes a certain point where there's a blue box, and you'll know it when you see it, that drops to the floor. And from that moment on, the movie is just a complete mind screw. It really just goes off in a different direction, and you're like, wait, what did I, huh? So it's like a lot of David Lynch movies, it really just throws you to the wind, and it's just weird. And you know, it's the kind of movie that's you really can't, you know, absorb the whole thing on the first viewing. It really is a puzzle that takes more than one viewing to really get as much as you can get it. And you really need to see it more than once, you know. It and it deals with themes of like obsession and one's true nature and the loss of innocence and all those sort of deep themes that you can find in a lot of David Lynch films, like Blue Velvet, for one. There's elements of that in there, and so it does deal with and that's why it's very much a Lynch movie, and why he's very much an auteur, is because, you know, his movies deal with certain themes. They have a certain look. They're filmed in a certain way, very sort of fluid and dreamy, and you know, and even in Mulholland Drive, the dialogue is very kind of at times very slow and deliberate, and it's really a great film, one of my favorites. And if you haven't seen many David Lynch movies, this is really a good one to start with. Even more so, I would argue, than Blue Velvet, because it really does give you a very good indication of what his movies are like, while still being an enormously entertaining puzzle piece. Granted, it's a mind blower. The movie is rated R. There's, you know, sex and nudity and swearing, so keep that in mind. But other than that, that's all I got on Mulholland Drive, one of the greats. And, you know, if you've got 2.5 hours and you're looking for something weird, then I say check it out. So that's all for this episode of Lockdown Theater, Entertainment for the Homebound. Not sure what I'm going to be doing next, but we'll see. And until then, be good to each other and be safe.